Welcome to the Smart Weight Loss Coaching Podcast. I'm Dr. Lisa Olson, a board-certified weight loss medicine specialist and certified life coach. In this podcast, I'll share fresh insights and effective techniques for incorporating mindset, habit change, and proven science into your life. Are you ready to achieve sustainable weight loss, wellness, and longevity? Then let's jump in and lose weight the smart way. Welcome back. I find myself ever so slightly intimidated when a new client tells me they're a healthy eater, an exerciser, that they do everything right, and yet they still can't lose weight. It's only human to wonder how I can possibly help this person when those who came before me were stumped. And yet I always seem to find that hidden key to unlock weight loss if I ask enough questions and dig deep enough. While the solution to getting unstuck isn't the same for everyone, I've found a theme that bubbles up again and again among women who are healthy eaters in my program. I call it the one-off problem. Here's how it might show up. I'm asking a new person in the group about her eating, and she says she eats beautifully. Her typical breakfast is a bowl of blueberries and steel-cut oats with some nuts on top, and the portion is small. Black coffee to drink. Her lunch is a salad with some protein on top and a homemade dressing. Dinner is typically fish and vegetables. She doesn't eat dessert, and she doesn't eat bread, potatoes, or pasta. She's pretty restrictive and careful about everything she consumes. By the way, I'm not saying you can't eat bread when you're working on weight loss. I'm saying this is a common refrain of what women bring to me when they're feeling stuck. Back to her typical food intake. She drinks water with each meal and doesn't snack. So I hear this kind of summary of how someone eats, and for a moment I think, sounds like this is going to be a tough case to crack. But then I drill down and get really specific. Okay, awesome. It sounds like your typical breakfast, lunch, and dinner are really healthy. Let's pull out your food tracker and I'll have you talk about exactly what you ate yesterday. Well, it turns out that yesterday was a little unusual because it was her teenager's last week of school and there was a sports banquet where they served pizza and garlic bread to the kids and the parents. They offered salad, but it was iceberg lettuce and a store-bought ranch dressing, so she decided to skip it. And then some parents got together afterwards for a glass of wine. Okay, I let her know. That sounds like a one-off situation. We all have those occasionally. No big deal. I'm just going to pick another random day and you can read me what it says on your food tracker. How about a week ago Friday? It turns out that was another one-off because she was invited to her sister-in-law's birthday party. It was a long evening that started with cheese and crackers for the first hour before any other food was served. She was super hungry because she had eaten so carefully early in the day in anticipation of the party. She ended up having a lot of cheese and crackers and a glass of wine within the first hour. But that's unusual. She typically never eats cheese or crackers. The meal was reasonably healthy, but she did have some bread and mashed potatoes, something she wouldn't normally eat. And they served brownies for dessert, so she split one, just one, with her husband. And she had a second glass of wine. But she usually never eats like that and rarely drinks. Got it. So that was another weird one-off situation. It happens. I know that's not how you typically eat, so let's go back 2 or 3 weeks ago. Let's just pick a Tuesday. Read me what's on your tracker, please. Breakfast was plain Greek yogurt with fruit, and then lunch was out with a dear friend she hadn't seen in many years. They went to a sandwich place. She had a turkey burger and removed the top bun, but she did have some fries and a Coke. But she never usually has fries or a Coke. This was atypical. It was kind of a recreation of their old routine when they were in their 20s. Later that afternoon, she was hungry, so she grabbed a few chocolate-covered almonds as a snack. She never snacks, but was feeling like she needed a pick-me-up, and her friend offered her the chocolate-covered almonds. She didn't want to be rude and say no. Okay, just one more example. And this is going to be relatable to many people listening. I might ask, do you eat fast food? And she'll say no, never, or almost never. Then I'll follow up with, when was the last time you ate fast food? And she'll tell me that she had Culver's a week ago, but that was really unusual. She only drove through because she was running late on her way home from work and had to grab dinner before a meeting that night. Let me be clear. I am absolutely not making fun of this one-off situation, nor am I making fun of the women in my program. Sometimes this woman is me. We all have these one-off situations. The question is, do we have enough of them that it's derailing our weight loss, and do we recognize them? I think you get the idea that many of us are healthy eaters when we're in charge of our own food and when our routine is running on schedule without special events. But here's the thing. It doesn't take much to throw us off from our routine. It could be a party, a doctor's appointment, a sick kid or elderly parent, a busy week at work, a birthday anniversary, or a day with a lot of errands that took longer than expected. It could be that you don't want to buy a lot of food because you're going out of town. Or maybe you just got back into town and haven't had a chance to do any grocery shopping yet, so you don't have healthy food at home. These are all examples I've heard of times when people are vulnerable to the one-off problem. These one-off events happen more often than we realize and can be the difference between a weight loss, a weight gain, or a weight-neutral week. I don't mean to suggest that someone who identifies as a healthy eater has one-off events every day. That's certainly not the case. But if there's something once a week that throws a person off track, that really might be the difference between losing versus maintaining your weight. I am all in for finding these one-off events. To me, it's like a scavenger hunt, and I feel like we found the treasure when we identify a one-off event. There's no shame at all in discovering some one-off events. It's not like, aha, I caught you. Instead, I'm like, aha, we might have something we can work with here. This is awesome news. Because if someone really eats perfectly, exercises daily, gets 8 hours of sleep, and has no stress, I may not be able to help them lose more weight. We're trying to find these little one-off situations that undermine our usual healthy eating habits. Before you worry that the solution to these one-off moments is perfect eating every day, let me put that concern to rest. I'm a believer in planning and allowing occasional treats or splurges, but I really encourage the women I work with to be thoughtful about when, where, and with whom they splurge. For example, let's look at fast food. I don't want to grab fast food when I'm out running errands. If I decide to splurge on that kind of food, I'd much prefer to do it in the context of a weekend road trip with my family. By raising our awareness of one-off moments, we can take back control and start to see progress on the scale. Here's a 5-step process to jumpstart your weight loss by tackling your one-off moments. Number 1, go on a treasure hunt. I'd recommend looking back and reviewing your food tracker with a fine-tooth comb. Identify times when you ate off your usual routine and notice why. If you're not tracking your food currently, why not? You've got to write this stuff down. It makes such a difference. But if you're not currently tracking, sometimes you can go on a treasure hunt simply by looking at your calendar. If you had book club on Wednesday, try to recall. What did you eat before you went to your book club? Did you eat something beforehand? And while you were there, did you have a glass or two of wine and some cheese and crackers? What did you eat at your kids' soccer game? When the kids had a snack, did you have one too? Write down what you learned from your treasure hunt, because once you see where you've gotten stuck in the past, you can start to anticipate situations where you might get stuck in the future. Number 2, we're still treasure hunting in part 2, but this time we're looking forward. Look ahead in your calendar. What's coming up? Are there certain days that you know will be busy or hectic? Or certain days that are joyful and celebratory? How do you want to eat on those days? Take some notes. Write down the days that you predict will be one-off days. Identifying these days in advance gives you so much power to take action and avoid being surprised when the food options in front of you aren't healthy. Number 3, make some plans. You might decide that you want to have a small piece of cake at the party coming up next week, and so you'll plan that. No problem. But you may also decide that it's not worth it to you to eat hot dogs and drink a beer when you go to a Milwaukee Brewers baseball game in 2 weeks. If that's a one-off situation that isn't important to you, pack some food. Bring your lunchbox in the car and eat your avocado cheese and egg sandwich with an apple, some baby carrots, and water before you go into the stadium. Make your plan and follow that plan so you don't show up to the Brewers game surprised that there's nothing healthy for you to eat. Number 4, decide in advance what you're going to do if your plan goes sideways. I love this step because that's the kind of flexible thinking that saves us in one-off situations. How can you prepare for the unexpected? This might mean keeping a Lara bar in your bag, bringing a healthy snack when you go out for the day, eating a little bit before an event so you don't show up starving. Or maybe it's choosing a thought that will get you through an unexpected food situation. For example, I might decide in advance that if I get to an event and the food they serve isn't for me, I'll choose the thought, I'm here for the people. I don't actually have to eat. I can eat later. For me, it's sometimes enough to choose the thought, this is figure-outable. So rather than knowing exactly how I'm going to solve for it, I just know that I will find a solution. I won't passively let life's curveballs determine what I eat. I'll decide what I'm going to eat because I trust in my ability to figure it out. And I trust you can figure it out too. Number 5, always learn. When we track our food, including those one-off days, it's an opportunity to learn. Sometimes people aren't interested in discussing a weekday night when they ordered pizza. They might say, oh, I never usually do that, so we don't have to discuss it. I think that's a missed opportunity because if you eat well in your regular everyday life, these one-off moments are the most important thing you can address to jumpstart your weight loss. This is the kind of thing we love to dissect in our interactive webinar program. You can join us if you'd like to dig deeper into your own one-off moments. And now, Smarties, it's time to choose your NBA, your next best action. You might want to look back at your food tracker to find your one-off moments and brainstorm how you'd handle them if you had a do-over. Or perhaps you'd like to pull out your calendar and write down all of the days coming up in the next month that might turn into one-off situations. Pick your special treat days and then make a plan for the days you'd like to follow your usual healthy eating pattern. One last thing. You've heard me mention our Women's Wellness Retreat coming up this fall. This is not a weight loss program. It's a 1.5-day weekend retreat for women who are interested in living healthier longer and want to hear from experts about how we can create the future we want. Last year, we heard a talk about the heart and brain health, one about the gut microbiome, and we had a talk about longevity, one about stress management, and one about sexuality. We even had a short 30-minute talk about financial planning for women who are looking to live healthy to 100. And of course, I did a presentation about weight loss. This year, we have all new speakers, new topics, and lots of time built in for relaxation or activities in the charming resort town of Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. We would love for you to join us. Or join our webinar program first, lose some weight with us this summer, and then come hang out with us in Lake Geneva. It's going to be amazing. Thanks so much for listening. If you'd like more support during your smart weight loss journey, check out our group coaching program at smartweightlosscoaching.com. Until next time, stay well and stay smart.